Hello Home Slice, this is Kiera with Home Slice Adulting coming to you with my review for Love and Hip Hop New York Season 7 Episode 9. Now, a few reviews ago, I said that I actually was kind of over everything with Love and Hip Hop New York, but I'm so glad that I continued to review it because it started getting pretty good and a lot more interesting around episode 7, 8, 9. So let's just go ahead and get started. First up, we have Yandy and Juju, and Yandy has a talk with Juju because everyone apparently goes to Juju for advice. But Juju on that beat is right about Yandy, going a little overboard by not telling her mate that she's not actually officially married to Mendices. Now, Yandy said that she didn't tell him because she didn't want him to question her level of commitment. But what do you think he's doing right now that he knows that you all aren't technically married and that you kind of refuse to make the papers go through now that he is in jail and that the case is over, and you never really gave him a reason as to why you weren't doing it? He's really questioning your commitment now, but whatever. Yandy says that she gets a call from someone named Coco who claims to be Samantha's best friend and saying that she's concerned for the safety of little Mendices. Now, if Judy says that she's concerned for the safety of little Mendices, that's, one thing, because Judy is not a big fan of the baby mamas. But if somebody else says it, then, it, makes Yandy's antennas go up and Juju's antennas go up too. She's very suspicious, as I would be, as well. But Yandy meets up with this Coco person in a public alley, and Coco said that this was about the kids all being together, or that her general concern was for all of the children, making sure that they were together and growing up together and that type of thing. But it ends up not kind of being about the kids at all, and she's letting Yandy know about Operation Yandy, this covert mission that the baby mamas are bringing up and making schemes and plans with to destroy Yandy's relationship with Mendices and further give them reasons to not allow their children to be with their other siblings. Now, Yandy doesn't know if this is true, but it also does not make sense for a friend of Samantha to come to Yandy with this information. I don't know how true it is. It all seems very weird, and I wouldn't trust Coco, but I would want to know what was on those tapes. So Yandy is like, send me the information, thank you. Next up, we see Remy and Papoose. Papoose seems to be more settled in the idea that he was fired for managing his wife, but Remy is FaceTiming the new manager, whose name escapes me, and Papoose is like, are you pregnant? I didn't even notice that the woman was pregnant in the FaceTiming thing, but Papooses, fatherly instincts and antennas must have been there, because he was like, oh, you pregnant? And you're managing Remy? And that just further gave him ammunition to say, wow, here's another woman carrying a child and, making it happen in her career. But Remy claims that she just must be so good at her work that someone who wasn't pregnant wouldn't be as good as the new manager is while she is pregnant. Remy got very technical about the time she had to conceive a child, because I think, as much as I think that this is not the right time for Remy and Papoose to have a baby, I also don't think that Remy should renege, because like she said to Juju last time, she actually wants children. So we'll see how that goes. But next we see Remy at the Hip Hop Honor Awards. We all saw that. She did a pretty good job honoring Missy Elliott. So they go to dinner afterward, and Pap gives her a gift, and it is a pregnancy test. Now, he says that, he thinks he hit a home run the other night, and, Remy had a sneaking suspicion that he was trying to get her pregnant on the low. But anyways, he thinks that he's seen some changes in her behavior. And I don't think Remy is pregnant, or I haven't heard any news about it. So she probably wasn't pregnant, just nervous, or just other reasons for behavioral changes. But anyway, she says she might take the test and she might give Pap the results. So let's stay into that. Next up, we have Snoop. Now, Snoop is in the studio with Sophie Green and some dude named Vado. I have no idea who Vado is, but apparently these people know him. But Snoop has a launch party / showcase coming up for Gorgeous Gangsta, which is her, label. And Snoop is talking to Vado about, how J. Adrian has come along to help with the business side of things. But Snoop is curious as to whether or not Jay is really trying to be on her, businesswoman thing, or if she's just using this as an in to get back with Snoop. And as we saw in the confessional, it's kind of both. But it's mostly to try to get back in with Snoop, I think. But anyways, we come up later on the Gorgeous Gangsta launch party. We see Method Man is in the building. Ooh, I like me some Method Man. But anyways, Yandy and Bianca are also in the building to do some networking, have some networking opportunities. And this part was so funny, I had to pause it. So Snoop is doing her little introduction, thanking everybody for coming. And J. Adrian is already a little tipsy and she's like, I love you, Snoop. And Snoop was like, I love y'all too. And Snoop was like, y'all. It tripped me out that J. Adrian thought that she was special, that she was gonna get like a specific shout out like I love you too, J. Adrian, from Snoop. It was funny. Anyways, the performers were all okay. Nothing really stood out to me, particularly because I don't really like rap music like that. I feel like everyone kind of sounds the same. The beats all sound the same. They all talking about the same thing, which is nothing. So nothing really caught my ear. But anyways, J. Adrian seemed more like a super drunk fan than an executive of the company, or somebody who's working for the company who's supposed to have some type of professionalism about them. And Snoop was very aware of that and didn't want the showcase to be ruined by that, but it ended up kind of getting ruined towards the end by that. I mean, the talent and everything went to really well, but the very end, them having to go outside and J. Adrian getting very upset and making everything personal. Snoop was wanted to make sure everything was strictly business, and J. Adrian kind of escalated things by saying, hey, you can sleep with whoever you want to sleep with. Now, even sober, J. Adrian didn't really see anything wrong with that, but to Snoop, it was an indicator that them working together probably was not going to work out because J. Adrian could not keep things professional. So we're going to go over all of the Creep Squad mess all in one, little bunch all together. So first we start off with Cisco meeting with Tara. Now, in my last review, I was like, why is Cisco meeting up with Peter Gunn's side chick / baby mama? But apparently he is the godfather to one of their children, Gunner. And he and Tara kind of have like a cool relationship, which is fine. I don't really like Tara, but Tara looked good, especially in the confessional. But I'm just not a big fan of her. She's whatever. She's not really on the show, so I want to talk about it. But Tara held Cisco accountable for preventing Peter Guns from making money in New Orleans, knowing that he has like 10 children. And Cisco got really mad the more they talked about the conversation, and he felt like everyone had turned their backs on him. He didn't really have anybody. He started banging on the bar. He felt as if whatever feelings that Rich had against Cisco, that Rich projected those onto the other two guys and got them to jump on some type of we hate Cisco bandwagon, even though Cisco has individually burned each member of the group with a separate action. So even if Richie D was, you know, vilifying you or slandering you or, you know, doing everything in his power to make you seem like a bad person, you brought that to life by doing the things that they felt like were a betrayal to them. So, Tara was like, you know, you're the one who messed up, and at the end of the day, if you want to fix it, you will do whatever you have to do to fix it. And he can't let, you know, all of those feelings get in the way. And Tara, for the most part, was right. So I'll give her that. But next we see DJ Self and Major Galore, aka Kiki Wyatt, and apparently Self booked her on a pre-stage event, whatever that means. But Major Galore is not feeling Mariah Lynn because apparently Mariah Lynn has been going around to DJ saying, hey, don't play her music around me and all of that kind of stuff. If that's true, Mariah Lynn seems like a petty individual and is giving Major Galore a larger platform than she needs to have, because I'm not really checking for Major Galore. She didn't impress me too much, but I'm not going to judge her too much on that because I couldn't hear real well. But anyways, next we see DJ Self talking to Mariah Lynn, and DJ Self wants to know where things went left. And I'm like, maybe when she tore up the contract in your face. I don't understand the type of relationship that they had to where something like that can go down, like her tearing up a contract in your face, but you also having some type of odd loyalty to each other. That's very weird to me. But anyways, she complained about the contract to Cisco, about the terms of the contract, and then shows up to this little lunch meeting that they have with the contract signed and still is mad at the Galore girl for being the first lady. You effed yourself on that whole deal. If you wanted to be the first lady, you should have been the first lady to sign the contract. So whatever. And I was like, if she came there with the contract signed, why would she talk bad about her label mate? I don't know, it just didn't make sense to me. But DJ Self, I think, was being very naive about getting these two women together and having them be all come together right now. Like, that's not gonna work. But anyways, next we see a meeting between Major Galore, Mariah Lynn, and DJ Self. They are arguing over the first lady spot of a company that hasn't had any hits or anything. I think both of these women are lame for arguing like this, and that it would be nice to see some type of, you know, unity or, you know, between these two women who are both on this whack label that has no, you know, credibility just yet. But whatever. They bring up things like, oh, you're a stripper, and oh, you talk about things in your songs about you being a hoe, and you're just not a person that I want to associate with, and who cares about any of that? I don't know either of you guys' music, and maybe you should focus on that instead of hating each other. But anyways, I think Self was very naive and idiotic about having this meeting. About having this meeting, period. And I think it's going to be worse that he's going to make them battle it out for this pre-stage spot. Now, the issue that I'm having with it is that I felt like he kind of promised Major Galore that spot, but I may be confusing it. I don't know. And I'm actually thinking that both Cisco and Richie D were very right about DJ Self not knowing the appropriate way to handle multiple artists. Cisco said that, you know, DJ Self has never even managed anybody before, while Richie D said that, you know, DJ Self was going to have a lot on his hands having two artists that don't really like each other. So it's clear that they were right. The last thing we're going to talk about is the whole situation with Peter Gunz and Cisco. Now, Peter Gunz says that since he's a very messed up person who deserves a second chance, that he can extend that same courtesy to Cisco. So Peter, again, seemed a little bit more level-headed in this situation, and but his anger was rooted in providing for the 25 children that he has. And he says, you know, $10,000 when you have 10 children and 6 baby mamas is not chump change. And I totally understand that. Now, Cisco, I feel like, has children. Okay, we'll get back to that. But anyways, Cisco feels like Peter is tripping over $10 and that $10,000 really ain't nothing. And he does not see, he just sees a man that's threatening him and not a man who's concerned about the well-being of his family. So Cisco doesn't see it the way that Peter Gunn sees it. So they get ready to go at it again, and then security gets involved, and then I was like, you know what, Cisco kind of is a bad friend. But after he kind of broke down about nobody being there for him, I realized what was going on. So if any of y'all watched the Iyanla Fix My Life of a Angry Black Man, something like that, on there they showed the, what's his name, Mike Bass. He was the fourth member of Boyz II Men, and he left Boyz II Men because he got sick with MS. Now, he had never told the other members of Boyz II Men that he was that sick with MS, and they moved on without him. And he was very upset with them about it, even though he had never told them, never expressed to them that he was going through this. And I feel like Cisco is the same way, is that he expected support from people who didn't know what he was going through. He never told Peter Gunz or any of the other members of, you know, the Creep Squad about him, you know, being about to lose his mother or any of the things that he was going through, but he expected them to support him through that instead of taking accountability for not asking for support or not telling the people that are supposed to care about him that he's going through something and that he needs support. So Cisco, you know, his inability to deal with his own issues, he was projecting that onto other people and hurting people, and I guess using his hurting people to punish them for not being there for him when he needed them. So anyways, I said that all in a very roundabout way, but things turned around very quickly when Cisco mentioned his mother. And Peter actually responded positively about Cisco getting emotional about his mother. And he's like, you know, you have to tell people your problems if you want people to help you or listen to you, support you through them, which is 100% correct. And it turns out the whole situation wasn't even about the money at all. Peter Gunz wasn't, you know, tripping off of the money. And they both owned up to their mistakes and, you know, apologized for coming across tables and trying to fight each other. It was actually a very touching moment, and I got a little emotional, y'all. I love seeing men tap into their emotional sides. I think it's just very endearing. Next time on Love and Hip Hop New York. Okay, so Drewski gets all heartfelt with Sky and asks the girl to move in with him just so he can film her unknowingly during an intimate moment and post it on social media. I'm disgusted by Drewski. I don't know the whole story yet, but I'm already disgusted. So anyways, moving on. Major Galore and Mariah Lynn get into it. Duh, how could you not get into it when you are, you know, pinned against each other in a battle for a performance that could change your career. Anyways, Richie D is not as forgiving towards Cisco as Peter is, but they do have a meeting and hopefully they squash everything. We'll see. Judy is not happy with the way the baby mamas are handling all of their business, and the baby mamas get very heated, and it actually gets a little physical when Samantha calls Yandy the B word. So I'm kind of interested in it. I have felt like previously, like episodes 1 through 6, I was just kind of over everything, but things have gotten quite interesting. So thank you guys for watching. Please forgive me for not posting these videos as soon as they came out. I'm trying to get on top of things, but it's a little hard trying to catch up after being away for like 2 weeks on vacation. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. For those of you who have not subscribed and like what you saw here and made it to the end of this video, hit that subscribe button right there. Thank you guys. Peace out, home slices.